Hello and welcome to the Punter. Great to have your company for another edition of the world's best betting show. Trademark. I can trademark that live now, I'm pretty sure. Now it's a very special Punter because it's one of the biggest days of the betting calendar. It's Gold Cup Day. If you're not excited to have a bet today, then you need to get your pulse checked. Everything is kicking off at Cheltenham. It's going to be a huge day, and we're going to have several people live at the course to tell us the vibe down there, what the latest market moves are, all on our mission to find the value for you. We are on your side in this, trying to pick through a very, very difficult mission, trying to get the best out of Cheltenham. Now, with me in studio, I'm delighted to welcome Flash. Gordon Watson's here. Hiya, Flash. How are you going?
Good, mate.
Nice to see you in the studio as opposed to on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one of them where everyone's at Cheltenham, so get me in here and just give you a little bit of a hand as we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Cheltenham's just huge, isn't it? In terms of how much betting's done, how much punters look forward to it.
Yeah, and also those who don't bet, they just absolutely love it. Sporting spectacle. It goes up there with the FA Cup or the Ashes cricket, and it just brings everyone together at this time of year. And
it's almost bigger because we've got the Housewife's Choice Quarto Star running the Gold Cup. That makes a big difference, doesn't it? To recreational punters, they know a horse, they know someone they can.
Yeah, they take it to their hearts, and we've had others before with Best Mate, and it's like the Grand National, but it's just for the real enthusiasts, and they get something like 250,000 people in the 4 days.
Amazing.
Which, yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant for all round. And we're meant to be economic downturn, and yet they are busting at the seams down there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got some tips for us?
Yeah, I mean, I've rung round, and basically I've got some knowledge from others that are better in the know than I.
Well, don't worry about that then, we're safe. OK, well, let's talk to somebody who's actually at the scene, shall we? What better way to get to grips with what's happening at Cheltenham? Angus Loughlin Stato is on the line. Angus, can you hear me? Oh, we don't have Angus quite yet, so we're going to get to him. We're going to talk Gold Cup, Flash, and Long Run, the last year's Gold Cup winner, is the favourite, has been the favourite for a long time. And then there's been this doubt about Quarto Star and whether he'd run or not. The interesting thing to me is that didn't really affect the betting, the fact that Quarto Star was, like, iffy to run. Yeah,
well, it was either he was going to be a set price or he wasn't going to run. So there's no way they were going to run him unless he was tip-top. I mean, Quarto Star's beaten Long Run twice this year already, so I find it hard that they're actually the other way around, and Quarto's not actually favourite. But again, if they had any worries about him and his fitness, then he wouldn't be running.
He wouldn't be running.
So you wouldn't be offering a bigger price, because you know that if he runs and he's well, he's going to be in the free.
Yeah. I think Angus is with us now. Can you hear me, Angus? Angus, come in. I'm not going to do that thing where I say hello that people do on phones. Hello, hello. I think you can quite hear us. There's a scrum there at Cheltenham, so he's probably trying to find his phone. OK, we'll try him again. I think we are going to get him. I'm confident we're going to get him. Let's take a look at the Cheltenham Gold Cup odds in a sec. I think punters are going to try and find a bit of value in this race. Everyone's going to want to bet on the Gold Cup. Long Run's quite a short price. Quarto Star, little doubts about him perhaps. I think punters might start looking down the card a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, the top two, they're absolute standouts. And if it's run to form, then they're going to be the ones jumping the last together. But Midnight Chase at 12-1 is a front runner. So if there's any chaos in behind, then he's actually won a course and distance 5 times.
Yeah.
Is that for you?
I think that probably is for me. Angus, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, no problem. You just cut me off there.
It wasn't me, I promise. I would never cut you off. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Right, no problem.
How's your Cheltenham week been?
It's been fine, actually. Great.
And how would you sum up the festival? Obviously, it's fantastic every year, but this year as big as ever?
Yeah, no, this year's festival's certainly been one to remember. And I mean, we've seen races that really have rolled back the years. Yesterday, in particular, with Riverside Theatre producing a devastating performance to beat Alberta's run and Medimit in a big race, the Ryanair, and of course, big bucks going into the history books by extending this remarkable winning record to 16 and nearly touching evens and landing quite a big gamble. I think it was one of the most thrilling days race you can remember yesterday, and the meeting so far has been excellent. No rain, the ground's good to soft in places, but conditions have been perfect.
Sounds good. And early in the week, it looked like the bookmakers had the upper hand, especially with Hurricane Fly getting beaten. Big bucks will have restored that balance a bit. Generally, how happy are the bookies at the moment?
Well, the bookmakers have lost a lot of money yesterday because the last 4 favourites won. There were a lot of fancied horses won. But you're right. I mean, the 2 key results for the bookmakers getting Sizing Europe and Grand Cru beaten on Wednesday and Hurricane Fly beaten on Tuesday. Those are the only 3 results they've had. But there's not really been that many outsiders. The horses that have won have been fancied horses. Even if you look at yesterday's first race, for example, there was a lot of money for Peddler's Cross, but the Irish had a very nice horse in Sir Nation that won. That could develop into being a Gold Cup contender for next year. That was probably one of the most impressive winners of the week. But Sprinter Sacra was the eye-catching performance on Tuesday. And then the fairy tale was the Hunt Bulls winning the last race on Tuesday, because the way this horse won off 12 stone means that it just might be one of the most amazing sports stories, let alone racing stories ever, having gone through the ranks, being a 69 horse, winning off 142. If I can equate that to a football-related thing, in my opinion, it'd be like a team from the Blue Square North or South winning the FA Cup.
Yeah, quite an extraordinary story, quite an amazing achievement. In the betting world, it was an amazing achievement with the stable lad having a big score. Presumably that's been talked about in Cheltenham as well.
That's quite interesting because what that is, I've heard about this story and I'm pretty sure it is confirmed. Bet365 haven't confirmed it, but I believe it's a bet struck with them, a £50 accumulator by one of the stable lads on 5 of the horses. Struck the bet in December. Brave man. He had to name the races. Anyway, Nicky Henderson's had the winners, and he's copped £1 million. So, I mean, that's fantastic. What I am also hearing is not the first time that one of Nicky Henderson's stable staff has become a millionaire, because he had a girl in the stable who a few years ago won the national lottery. So it could be a lucky place to work.
Yeah, it sounds like a really lucky place to work. Now, I think also on the line we've got Russ from Sporting Bet, who regular viewers of the show will know. Russ, are you there?
Yes, good form, mate. I'm here.
Russ, how's your Cheltenham? Presumably yesterday's left it a little bit sour.
Yeah, it really did actually, and let's put some perspective on this. The first 2 days were winning days. I wouldn't say they were dramatically successful, but yesterday was really nasty. I used the word brutal probably too liberally on the show, but this was a very, very bad day. The sedation fell back. Obviously, with the bookmaker, you're happy to pay out on the likes of big books, big public horse like that, back off the boards, and very popular winner. That's not a problem as a bookmaker. The ones that really hurt us quite badly were the final 2 favourites. Back into 72 and 32, very, very well backed favourites, lots of £50 each way doubles. These are the ones that cause the problems, guys, and it's made it actually a very difficult festival now. Difficult to see us really getting out of trouble unless either Long Run or Corto Star get beat today. So, a little bit sour, but still a fantastic punting event.
Yeah, it's been a bit back and forth between the punters and the bookies. You've led us nicely into the Gold Cup there, Russ. So just give us your kind of view of how this race is moving. We have got these 2 fancied horses at the head of the market. Are they still attracting money? Are they drifting? What's happening?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit concerned the way that all of the firms, actually, not just Sporting Bet, I assume that a lot of the other bookmakers will feel the same, are kind of fielding against these 2 really popular horses as a duo, as a couple, if you like. I don't really see the need for us to do that. I think if it was me who was pricing it up, I'd certainly want to be against Corto Star. I mean, clearly a horse that's seen better days, and obviously he's a resurgent this year. But I don't see the need for us to be so aggressive with this long run. It's clearly a horse that is young enough and improving enough to maybe defend his crown. I'm just slightly concerned about that, because the couple price around is around about 11 to 10, 6 to 5. That might be short enough, but I mean, we do have some contenders in behind there. But I think we're banking on a lot of ordinary horses lifting what is essentially the blue ribbon event of the jump racing calendar. And I think that's a big ask, and it'll probably take a lot of beating this race for long run.
Yeah, I think that is the general horse racing consensus. Angus, would you back that up? And how do you feel about Long Run in this race? And what would you take him on with if you had to? Angus, that one for you?
I think Long Run obviously deserves to be favourite as defending champion, but I mean it's going to be a big ask, I think, for Long Run today, and I think it's not just a one-horse race at all. Cato Star fitting to make history. Burton Fort is a very interesting horse. Synchronise has a chance, and Weird Al as well. And I wouldn't totally dismiss Sir Alex Ferguson's horse What a Friend at the price. I think those looking for a 25-1 chance could do a lot worse than that.
And what news on Corto Star, Angus, have you heard around the sort of horse racing world? Is he 100%? Is there nothing to worry about with him?
I personally spoke to his owner yesterday, Clive Smith. He said the horse really wouldn't have run if it wasn't 100% fit, and he said with no issues on the fitness, the horse is showing us just what he did before Kempton, just what he did before Haydor. He won those 2 races. I think the majority here just want Cato Star to come back safely. I mean, you'd have to look back and think, have they gone to the well once too often? I'm not sure they have. I think he deserves to take a chance. I don't think Paul Nicholls would even remotely take a chance with this horse. Why would you? A multiple King George winner, a dual Gold Cup winner. This is one of the icons of the sport. Cato Star goes to join a list of true great National Hunter horses, and that greatness will be almost iconic if he were to win today.
Yeah, it would be an absolutely extraordinary achievement. Russ, just help our punters out at home. The prices that we're showing for the Gold Cup right now, do you have any indication of how they might move or what might happen to them during the day?
It's just a little bit busy on the old winning company. Sorry, repeat the point.
Yeah, Russ, I was just asking, just for our punters at home, how do you think the prices, and I know we can't hold you to this, but how do you think the prices are likely to move between now and race time?
Yeah, that's a good shout. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I do see the prices of these horses as we move up to sort of 2, 3 o'clock. When I see the 2 horses in question, Long Run and Corto Star, kind of remaining around this 9 to 4 and almost 9 to 2 mark. I think Corto Star is going to go off big today. I really do think it's going to drift. I think we might see 5 to 1, 11 to 2 coming up. I just feel as though people will field against it in that last half an hour. I mean, what we've got to remember here is that bookmakers have got some money to try and claw back, and the race they're going to do this in is the Gold Cup. No question about that. That's the biggest betting race today, one of the biggest of the year. And I think, in all honesty, if you've got to kind of feel from a poll of the bookmakers on track here, and certainly online, all of the big boys, I think we're expecting to take Corto Star, and I just feel as though it's going to be a drifter today. Even with the public sentimental money, we probably can't get enough of it. But we try and give you a really kind of accurate view on the Punter of what's happening here. I just feel as though there may be one horse that's back today that we haven't seen any money for in the Gold Cup, and that might be significant. I just feel as though it's a more shrewd and sophisticated punting audience this year. Most of the moves have been correct. I think it's a pretty sophisticated audience at Cheltenham. I think we do see some late money for a good one in the Gold Cup. It'll probably matter quite a bit.
A question from Flash for you.
Russ, if you drift Corto Star out to say you're 5 to 1 and 11 to 2, and then it goes and wins, a drifting horse would normally mean a result for the bookmakers. But would that be the opposite?
I mean, do I feel as though Cato Star will be a good result for us? I mean, we want it to be a good result for us, definitely. I think I'm looking at our book now. Corto Star is a 6-figure loser for us right now. I mean, that's the way we want to shape the book. I mean, I think, we've all got shareholders and people and bosses to answer to here, but, you've got to kind of work this out now from a price perspective. We need that to be the big loser in the book. I think we've decided as a firm, I think lots of firms have decided this, that, we don't mind taking the public on, that's what I'm saying. I think the professional money will probably be for Long Run. I think more sentimental money will be for Corto Star, and that's the money I think that will be going in our satchels. I'd be very surprised if this horse wins. I have spoken to a few very shrewd people today, a few people from Racing Post, Millington, a few other guys in the press room here, who even feel that Corto Star at some point in this race, due to the way it's run, with all the pace in the race, it may not even finish. And that gives you an idea of how negative some of the professional people are about his chances today. But a win for Corto Star would be a financially appalling result for the industry. I've got to tell you that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Russ. Listen, have a really great afternoon, win, lose or draw, and we'll see you next week.
All the best, boys.
All right, cheers. And I think Angus is still on the line. Angus, just give us your pick of the rest of the field. You mentioned a few horses then. If you had to go against Corto Star and Long Run for people at home, pick out one for us from the rest of the field. Angus?
Hello, yeah, good afternoon. Yeah. Well, sorry, Mr. Starson, I think you heard me say pick out one for the rest of the field.
Yeah, you mentioned a few horses.
Well, in the Gold Cup, I'd say if you want a if you want an outsider, I'd definitely look at What's a Friend at the 25-1 chances, and I wouldn't be at all surprised to see big runs from Burton Port, Synchronised and Weird Owl. So I think those four will give the front two plenty to think about. And of course, at the prices, What a Friend is the biggest price of it. And I think that could run a really big race.
OK, fantastic stuff. Thank you so much, Angus. We've covered off the Gold Cup for you, shown you where the value is and shown you that Corto Star is being opposed in a huge way by the professional money. So if you back him, you are trusting the old man. But if he does win, what a scene it would be. Lots more Cheltenham to come. The rest of the Gold Cup Days card and our tips from Flash and some other in-the-know people. We will find the value on Cheltenham Friday. Don't know what day it is. Gold Cup Day on the Punter after this. Welcome back to the Punter, one of the best betting days of the year. It's Gold Cup Day in Cheltenham. It's Gold Cup Day worldwide, as anyone that likes a bet comes out of the woodwork to have a punt on not only the Gold Cup, but also the rest of the card. We're taking you through. We've had a good look at the Gold Cup. Flash is my guest in studio, and interesting to hear just how the professional money is opposing Corto Star.
Yeah, it's
really
worrying.
It's
worrying for all them people that have gone for Corto Star as in anti-post.
Yeah.
Because now you think to yourself, as I said earlier, he's only going to be there. He's only going to run if he's properly right. And now they're even saying there's dangers that he might not even complete the race. He might get taken off his feet. He's prone to the odd mistake. But
it's interesting that...
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be with him, would you?
Yeah, but it's interesting that Angus is saying from a horse racing point of view, he's fine, he's fine, he's fine. Everyone's saying he's fine. But the professional money, which usually
tells you if
knows,
he's fine or not.
Yeah,
exactly.
says maybe he's not.
Yeah, if he was fine, he'd be 3-1, 7-2, top whack.
Yeah.
Now the bookies, they're not gambling. They're not saying, well, we'll give you 5-2 and 11-2.
Yeah.
It's almost, if it looks too good, it probably is.
Yeah, so maybe you want to be leaving Corto Star alone. Of course, if he wins, what a scene it would be. But the professional money is telling you it's not going to happen. You can take that as you like. Now, there's a great card on at Cheltenham today. There is every day on Cheltenham. But Flash, you've got a few horses for us that you've been to. I mean, this is information you've got from trainers.
Basically, I rung round quite a bit last night and spoke to different people for different races. And they're all really, really good value, to be honest. Shadow Catcher each way in the first at 10-1. Now, obviously, you can do them all each way because you're getting quarter the odds first four.
That's the great thing about the festival.
Exactly.
All the bookies are giving quarter the odds.
And you're going to get a run for your money. I mean, in the Triumph, the 130 Shadow Catcher at 10-1, which is obviously can get you off to a real good start. They really do like this horse. And
that's a really open race as well.
And that's the beauty of Cheltenham. I mean, there has been some really fancied horses go and win at really decent prices. For the rest of the year, you might be even money 6-4, but at Cheltenham, that 6-4 shot may become 5-2. And likewise, I mean, I think some of the races they're going 6-8-1 the field. So you are going to get a real bit of value and get a run for your money. In the 205, which is the county hurdle, Raya Star again. Although he's 10-1, he is third favourite. And that, again, that shows you how open the races are.
Very competitive, yeah.
Yeah, and Bredinzi Breeze, again, in the 240, which is the Albert Bartlett. Again, that's 10-1. Midnight Chase in the Gold Cup. I've gone for that at 12-1 because he's a front runner, won course and distance 5 times.
Yeah,
so
and that means something because Cheltenham's a very unique track.
Exactly, and we've just heard Angus. And he named every horse barring Midnight Chase, who's going to be leading majority of the race.
Well, there we go. You can see Chapturgeon and Street Entertainer rounding out your picks. I'm just going to drop off those Flash because we've got Alan Alger on the line from Blue Square, also at Cheltenham. We're giving you the real inside track on what's going on. Alan, how is it down there?
Not too bad. Extremely noisy. I'm just... In their infinite wisdom, they placed the overflow press tent next to the Guinness tent, so you might be able to hear an Irish band and a few raucous Irishmen celebrating.
We'll take a bit. We'll take a bit of atmosphere. That's great. We've done the Gold Cup pretty thoroughly, Alan, but just give us a quick word on your take on the Gold Cup and where you see money going at the moment.
Well, I think what's happened this morning is punters have looked at the race and said, long run is a good bet for this race. There was so much talked about ahead of this race. Will Corto Star line up? Will Grand Cru enter the race? Will so many questions. There was even a question mark over long runs fitness. But I think punters have looked at it this morning. They've seen the Henderson stables in fantastic form, and they've said that 2-1 long run is far too big. It's been backed into 15-8. On my current figures, that will not last long. It will be into 7-4 soon, no doubt about that. And I think that seems to be the sensible choice. But I would say, I think there are plenty of punters that have that long run, that if Courto Stowe is actually challenging over that final fence, they may want to see history made.
Yeah, there's a lot of sentiment at Cheltenham this year, no question. Al, just to take a look at the rest of the card for us. The Triumph Hurdle's a very open race. It's a very competitive race. Baby Mix is the favourite at the moment, but there's plenty contesting that. Are you seeing any kind of moves for anything?
There's only 2 or 3 points, betting points, separating the first 7 in the market here. So, as you say, incredibly congested at the head of affairs. Baby Mix, yes, is the favourite. I think there are at least a couple of question marks we can associate with Baby Mix, but I actually think that if you look at the record of the Irish stables, they've been poor, so you can cross those ones out. 9 of the last 10 winners of this race have been trained in England, and I wouldn't put anybody off back in Pearl Swan. Was actually denied a victory by Grametti last time. That one took place in the Stewards' Room, but was good enough to win that day on the track if he didn't actually win the prize itself. And I just think that Pearl Swan will have more today for Grametti. And at the current prices, because it's such a wide open market, as I said, you can back this one each way. And I'll be incredibly surprised if Pearl Swan isn't actually in the first 3 here.
That's a fantastic tip and really strong one, that sounds like, from you. Great stuff for our viewers. Let's move on to the next one, which is the County Handicap Hurdle. Another open betting heat. It's a great day if you want to bet.
It certainly is, and bookmakers, we do like to give the money back on some occasions. We're actually paying 5 places in the County Hurdle, which
fantastic.
Is incredibly generous, and a quarter the odds. You need to then find one that's going to actually place, and it does look an absolute minefield. A lot of the very difficult races are actually scheduled on to day 4. Somehow you would think that bookmakers would like that. We certainly do, but if there's a couple of handicap plots, we don't have anything to get our money back. So we're always whinging, but Citizenship, well-backed favourite, backed into 7-1. Jess Carrington, very positive about the horse. And actually, there was some 17-2 around this morning. It's a bit of a weird price. I mean, why not go 9-1? But I think the reason there was no 9-1 is that this one was certainly going to attract money, and it has done.
OK, should be a lot of money from general punters on that race. Incredibly open race. And you can't say the same about the Albert Bartlett. A strong favourite in this one, Al.
Well, so many people in and around Cheltenham, and certainly last night when we were out on the town having an orange juice, were saying that Boston Bob is the absolute certainty of the Friday card. And the market has certainly backed that up this morning. 6-4, back into 11-8. Again, another price that's really under threat and only going south. Could be 5-4 by the time I get off the phone. And looks to be everybody's banker. But again, great each way place terms. You've got a short price favourite in there, which means everything else is at an inflated price. 7-1, the second favourite. So really, if you want to get stuck in each way, you can even avoid Boston Bob and still get some value out of the race.
Yeah, we've been saying on the Punter for a couple of weeks, that is the way to attack Cheltenham, isn't it? Find your each way value by exploiting the fact that bookies are forced to go quarter of the odds and that kind of thing.
Yes, but unfortunately, personally, I managed to put all the wrong ones in different bets.
Oh, so, that's the trick, yeah.
So lots of singles flagged up, but none hit the same accumulator. So one of the moans of my festival, and a poor Wednesday, which will go down as one of my top 10 worst punting days ever.
Oh, that does not sound good. Just before you go, Al, just give us a general précis of where you think it stands between the bookies and the punters. It seems like the bookies had the advantage early on, and now the punters got a lot back yesterday. Who's the more confident going into today?
They certainly did get plenty back yesterday. And there's an interesting thing about the way these meetings go, and it's all to do with where the short price ones or the well-backed ones actually go in. And for Vega, a lot of people chased on for Vega on the Tuesday, which meant that the ones that could afford to chase on for Vega managed to claw back some of their losses, and meant that we didn't have as good a day as most people would have thought. sides in Europe got beaten, Grand Cru got beaten, no doubt about it. Wednesday was a fantastic day, but we then laid up 2 handicap plots later on the card, and then also yesterday as well, a couple of well-priced handicap plots. So I would say that it's probably just shading it to the bookmakers at the moment, but a hugely important fourth day.
Yeah, absolutely. It all comes down to Gold Cup Day. Have a fantastic afternoon, Alan. Thanks so much for taking the time to do this for us. I know you're busy today.
Cheers, guys.
All right, take care. We've brought you some really great stuff from On Course. You know what to do if you fancy either of the big horses in the Gold Cup, and lots of tips for the rest of the card. That's your Cheltenham Gold Cup day locked and loaded. We're going to look at the rest of the weekend sport. There's more to come after this from the Punter.
Real enthusiasts, and they get something like 250,000 people in the 4 days.
Amazing.
Which, yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant for all round. And we're meant to be economic downturn, and yet they are busting at the seams down there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got some tips for us?
Yeah, I mean, I've run round, and basically I've got some knowledge from others that are better in the know than I.
Well, don't worry about that. Then we're safe. OK, well, let's talk to somebody who's actually at the scene, shall we? What better way to get to grips with what's happening at Cheltenham? Angus Loughlin Stato is on the line. Angus, can you hear me? Oh, we don't have Angus quite yet, so we're going to get to him. We're going to talk Gold Cup, Flash, and Long Run, the last year's Gold Cup winner, is the favourite, has been the favourite for a long time. And then there's been this doubt about Quarto Star and whether he'd run or not. The interesting thing to me is that didn't really affect the betting. The fact, a very difficult mission, trying to get the best out of Cheltenham. Now, with me in studio, I'm delighted to welcome Flash. Gordon Watson's here. Hiya, Flash. How are you going?
Good, mate.
Nice to see you in the studio as opposed to on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one of them where everyone's at Cheltenham, so get me in here and just give you a little bit of a hand as we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Cheltenham's just huge, isn't it?
Yeah,
in
massive.
Terms of how much betting's done, how much punters look forward to it.
Yeah, and also those who don't bet, they just absolutely love it. Sporting spectacle. It goes up there with the FA Cup or the Ashes cricket, and it just brings everyone together this time of year.
And it's almost bigger because we've got the Housewife's Choice Quarto Star running the Gold Cup. That makes a big difference, doesn't it? To recreational punters, they know a horse, they know someone they can.
Yeah, they take it to their hearts, and we've had others before with Best Mate, and it's like the Grand National, but it's just for the real.
Hello and welcome to the Punter. Great to have your company for another edition of the world's best betting show. Trademark. I can trademark that live, and I'm pretty sure. Now, it's a very special Punter because it's one of the biggest days of the betting calendar. It's Gold Cup Day. If you're not excited to have a bet today, then you need to get your pulse checked. Everything is kicking off at Cheltenham. It's going to be a huge day, and we're going to have several people live at the course to tell us the vibe down there, what the latest market moves are, all on our mission to find the value for you. We are on your side in this, trying to pick through that Quarto Star was like iffy to run.
Yeah, well, it was either he was going to be a set price or he wasn't going to run. So there's no way they were going to run him unless he was tip top. I mean, Quarto Star's beaten Long Run twice this year already. So I find it hard that they're actually the other way around, and Quarto's not actually favourite. But again, if they had any worries about him and his fitness, then he wouldn't be running.
He wouldn't be running.
So you wouldn't be offering a bigger price, because you know that if he runs and he's well, he's going to be in the free.
Yeah. I think Angus is with us now. Can you hear me, Angus? Angus, come in. I'm not going to do that thing where I say hello that people do on phones. Hello, hello. I think you can quite hear us. There's a scrum there at Cheltenham, so he's probably trying to find his phone. OK, we'll try him again. I think we are going to get him. I'm confident we're going to get him. Let's take a look at the Cheltenham Gold Cup odds in a sec. I think punters are going to try and find a bit of value in this race. Everyone's going to want to bet on the Gold Cup. Long Run's quite a short price. Quarto Star, little doubts about him perhaps. I think punters might start looking down the card a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, the top two, they're absolute standouts. And if it's run to form, then they're going to be the ones jumping the last together. But Midnight Chase at 12-1 is a front runner. So if there's any chaos in behind, then he's actually won a course and distance 5 times.
Yeah.
Is that for you?
I think that probably is for me. Angus, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, no problem. You just cut me off there.
It wasn't